Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. This week I'm going to talk about something that's super important and probably, I think, one of the most underused resources that we have as kayakers to help improve our kayaking, especially our freestyle kayaking. We can apply it to lots of different situations, and that tool is video review. And I know a lot of you are already thinking like, not that interested, not vain enough to video myself, but I gotta stop you there. Like, video review, it is not vain. It is the most useful thing, I think, that we can use to help improve our kayaking. And I want to tell you about the how and the why to do that. So what is video review? Just a brief overview. Obviously, it's looking back at video of yourself kayaking or other people kayaking and figuring out what they could do better. So if you're not interested in improving your kayaking and doing better, peace, see you next week. But if you are, stick around, we're going to keep talking about it. I know a lot of people are put off by the idea of putting a camera or some kind of recording equipment to record themselves because they think it's vain or narcissistic. But the whole point of video review is not just to look at yourself and be like, damn, my color coordination is on point. The whole point is to look back and think, what are the things I could do better here to improve either the tricks I'm doing or the line I'm running or the waterfall I'm going off or whatever it is you're doing. We can almost always apply video feedback to help us improve and get to where we're going a lot more efficiently. So how do we do video review? It's actually super simple. If you're watching this on your phone, you can do it right with your phone. It's literally as easy as balancing it, pointing kind of where you're going and pressing record, or more ideal is having someone video for you. But honestly, the way I do it a lot is I'll just grab either like a little GoPro, just like this guy, like a little cheap guy, balance it on some rocks, or sometimes with a little tripod gizmo, but mostly just like balancing it on some rocks or whatever, or on top of my bag. And then I'll use that to record what I'm doing, especially, for example, with freestyle kayaking. And I'm going to use this example for freestyle kayaking a lot because I think it's the most relevant, but I've definitely used it for sure running lines and going down rivers where I'm like, I can't figure out why I didn't get that line just like exactly how I wanted it. And you can go back and use video review to help you figure that out. So how to do it? You got to either put your phone or your GoPro or whatever camera device you're using. You've got to either have it running or have someone operating it for you. Having someone operating it for you is sick. It's like, that's like the luxury, like ritzy video feedback, because when you come to look at all your clips at the end of the day, they're all just like, all the starts and stops are like just when you were kayaking, right? Whereas the downside of leaving it running is that you got to pick through like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, or however long you were kayaking for, and find all those points where you're actually kayaking, and then either write down when they were or using some video editing software to clip them together. And it's like, it's a bit more of a hassle, but it's not impossible. So that kind of brings us on to how do we do it? Like, once we have that video, what do we need to do next? I look through my video clips usually with a free piece of software that's on my computer already called QuickTime Player. I prefer QuickTime Player over other media players because you can like pause it and then use the arrows to go forward one frame at a time. And this gives you the most, like, in my opinion, like the easiest to see going back and forth what you're doing well and what you're doing wrong. There's other like players you can use, and there's like expensive software you can buy, but I just generally will go through my clips in QuickTime Player and then use the forwards and back arrow to like slow down and speed up whatever it is I'm looking at, so that I can figure out what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm doing wrong, what I can do better. Okay, so once you've got your video clips onto your playback device, whether that's media player like I use or something else, and you're watching back through them, now we've got to kind of dig into our actual video review. So not just looking through them in slow motion, but what are you looking for when you're looking at those clips? And I like to think about 4 key areas that I'm looking at all the time whenever I'm doing video review, and that is boat, body, blade, head. Okay, so four kind of topics, and we can break those down into like little subcategories. So boat should be like boat angle, so where it's looking relative to the wave, relative to the trick you're trying to do. That means boat edge, so how it's tilted, especially for freestyle tricks. boat angle and boat edge combined, and they can often help or hinder whatever you're trying to achieve. And quite oftentimes you can see it more easily in slow motion video that you're not edging enough, or you're edging too much, or your boat's pointing just fractionally the wrong way. And it's those small fractions that actually add up and make quite a big difference in the end. So you really want to be on top of those like angles and edges, because that is going to make a difference in the like overall picture. So we've got boat. Next up, we're looking at our body, and that kind of breaks down into a number of other subcategories. So like, am I forwards? Am I center? Am I backwards? Am I crunching down too much? Am I like hunched down, tucked into my shoulders? Or am I sitting up nice and straight? Am I twisted the right way? Am I looking is my body turned to look the right way? Are my arms on one side of my boat, or are they on the other side, or are they in the middle? And again, small things here, but it's all the small things that add up to kind of put your bigger picture together, right? The same as like a puzzle piece is not just one little picture, it's all the pieces added together to make the whole picture. Next up is our blade. So that means where are my two paddles? Where are they pointing? Which one's pulling? Which one's pushing? Are they in the right place? Did they start the stroke forwards enough? Did they finish it far back enough? Am I opened or closed at the right angle, the right amount of like feather? Is that pulling my boat awkwardly, or am I pulling too much on my arms and not using my core enough? So these are all little things that you can see through your video feedback, right? And again, lots of small pieces build up to that bigger picture. Lastly, and the thing that gets forgotten about the most, I think, with video feedback is your head. Like, whereabouts are you looking? Everything we do in kayaking, I've talked about this in previous videos, but everything we do in kayaking starts with where you're looking, okay? Like, wherever you look is where you're gonna end up going. And especially for freestyle tricks, it's easy to accidentally get your head looking like downstream or upstream when it's meant to be looking kind of like straight, or down when it's meant to be looking up. And even just as simple a movement as a turn of the head can unlock a new freestyle trick, or can help make your line go smoother. I see this especially when I'm video reviewing people's lines, and you can see, like, especially if the line is like ferry across in front of a hole, the people who are successful are usually the ones who are looking at the line they're running, and the people who are unsuccessful are the people who are like just doing these little glances to see how much time they have left. And it's those little glances that are going to pull you offline and have you end up surfing that hole, right? So it's small things, all these little small things that add up together to make one big picture. Now, at first, looking at those four kind of big categories is going to be a lot to take on, and this is kind of where experience takes over a little bit. I'm very fortunate in that I've spent a lot of time coaching people to kayak, and I know what I'm looking for, and I'm able to apply that to myself, and I'm able to apply that when I see other people's video, and I can give kind of feedback more specifically, and it's quite easy for me because I've been doing it for a long time, right? At first, it won't be easy for you, and it might not be obvious why the thing you're looking at isn't working, because you're going to be like, oh yeah, no, it seems like it's fine. A good way to help you get that experience to look at a lot of other people's, especially a lot of people who are better than you, or compare your video to other videos of someone trying to do the same thing in roughly the same place, and that will help give you an idea of like what's up with it, what you're doing wrong, what they're doing differently to you that's giving them a different outcome. So by comparing videos together, that's a super useful way to help see where you're at and what you're doing and what you could be doing better. Something else I've been doing recently in the last year is working with a couple of athletes remotely. So they send me video clips either weekly or bi-weekly or monthly, and we talk about their goals and what they're trying to achieve, and then the things that they're doing currently to help them achieve those goals. And I'm able to look at those videos and then send like kind of targeted feedback and training programs and guidelines at least on what they should be working on. And I'm seeing big results with that. I'm going to show you, hopefully on your screen, you can see a month 1 and like a month 4 video here, maybe side by side, hopefully. And as you can see, like huge improvements in things like flat water cartwheels and some of these other core skills that I think are really useful for building a good foundation to your harder tricks and your more challenging kayaking, is by having a more solid foundation base. Okay, so this has been a little like my 2 cents on video review. I think it's super useful. I hope you will try and deploy it in your kayaking to help yourself improve, because ultimately I think we're out here trying to get better at having a good time. Doing better is fun, so I like it. Let me know if you've tried video review before, if you found it useful, if you haven't found it useful, and why. And yeah, I'll be lurking down there in the comments, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.